You wake before dawn. The city is still dark. You count the coins again. 40,000 sesterces. Your fingers shake. You recount. Still 40,000. You sealed the leather pouch. The weight settles in your palm like a stone. You walk to the administrative office. The streets are empty except for the night soil collectors. Their cartwheels scraped against stones. The magistrate's door is already open. He knew you would come early. He is sitting behind his desk. His rings caught the lamplight. Marcus Valerius, he says. He does not stand. Magistrate Gaius Appius. You say. He gestures to the chair. You sit. You placed the pouch on his desk. He pulls it towards himself. His fingers are thick, scarred. They did not open the pouch. They simply rest on it. The Callistus Bathhouse, he says. 10 years. 10 years, you repeat. The maintenance is your responsibility. The heating, the plumbing, the water channels, all of it. I understand. The profit will be considerable. If you manage it well, I will manage it well. He smiles. His teeth are bad. He pushes a scroll across the desk. You unroll it. The Latin is dense, legal. You read the words, but their meaning slips away from you like oil on water. Maintenance costs, heating obligations, water supply fees, public safety requirements. You read it again. The obligations seem to grow with each reading. You sign. Your hand is steady. The magistrate signs. His hand is steadier. The bathhouse opens in 40 days, he says. I will attend the inauguration. Of course, you say. You stand. The pouch remains on his desk. You leave it there. You walk back through the dark streets. The sun is rising now. The city is waking. You do not feel awake. You walk through the empty bathhouse for the first time as its contractor. Your footsteps echo against marble walls. The changing rooms smell of fresh plaster and limestone. The mosaic floors are new. Blue dolphins leap through white waves. The cold pool is empty. A perfect rectangle of shadows. The tepidarium pool holds no water yet. The caldarium pool is just a hole in the ground, dark and waiting. You descend into the furnace room. The hypocaust channels stretch beneath the bathhouse like the tunnels of an anthill. The brick walls are blackened with old soot from construction. The furnace itself squats in the center. Cold. Silent. You touch its iron door. It will not always be cold. You hire the stokers first. 3 men. They stand in a line before you. Their hands are already calloused. Their backs are already bent. What are you paying? The oldest one asks. His name is Quintus. 12 sesterces per week, you say. The Diocletian bads pay 15. The Diocletian bads had imperial funding. I do not. Quintus looks at the other 2. They nod slowly. We'll take 12, he says. You hire the guards next. 2 veterans. They come with letters of recommendation from their former centurion. One is missing 3 fingers on his left hand. The other has a scar that runs from his ear to his collarbone. 30 sesterces each per week, you say. That's fair, the scarred one says. His name is Titus. The streets are bad at night, you say. We know, Titus says. You hired the oil scrapers, young men, strong arms, smooth faces. They will work for tips only. They agreed eagerly. They do not yet know how few people tip well. A freed woman comes to your office. Her name is Claudia. She is perhaps 30. Her hands are strong. I can run a massage corner, she says. My brother will assist. What do you offer me? 50 sesterces monthly. We keep all our FEs. Event 5. 60. 70. She considers. 70. But we need the corner by the tepidarius. The warm air is best for muscle work. Agreed. A Jewish merchant arrives next. He is younger than you expected. His name is Jacob. He speaks Latin with a Judean accent. I can provide food, he says. Bread, olives, wine, honey cakes. What do you offer me? 10. 20% of revenue. 5. 15. 20. 17. And I pay weekly. You agree. His bread does smell good. You stand in the furnace room again. Now the fire roars. The hypocaust glows beneath your feet. You can feel the heat rising through the bricks. Quintus feeds wood into the furnace mouth. His face is red. Sweat pours down his back. How long can you keep this temperature? You ask. As long as you pay for wood, he says. You walk upstairs. The caldarium pool steams. You touch the tile edge. It burns. You pull back quickly. Good. It is ready. The bathhouse opens at dawn. People come slowly at first. Citizens pay their quadrans at the entrance. Slaves enter free with their masters. An old man is first into the cold pool. He gasps. He smiles. He swims 3 slow circles. By midday the changing rooms are full. The oil scrapers are busy. The sound of bronze strigils against skin fills the air. Someone drops a bottle. It shatters. No one notices. Claudia works on a merchant's back in her corner. Her hands kneaded the muscles. He groans with relief. In the tepidarea people gathered. They talk. You stand near the wall and listen. The grain ships are delayed again, a merchant says. Delayed or diverted? Another asks. Does it matter? The price rises either way. You remember this. You store it. In the caldarium an older senator floats on his back. His eyes are closed. His friend sits on the edge. The army is 3 months behind on pay. The friend says quietly, which legion? All of them on the Danube. You remember this too. Evening comes. People leave. New ones arrive. The bathhouse breathes them in and out like lines. The coins accumulate in your strongbox. You count them after closing. 1,400 sesterces for the day. You calculated. Wood costs, water fees, wages, maintenance. The profit is smaller than you hoped, but it is profit. You walk through the empty rooms one final time before locking the doors. The water in the caldarium still steams faintly. You look down into it. The surface is calm now. You can almost see your reflection, then the steam shifts and you disappear. The wood costs are too high. You meet with Quintus in the furnace room. Can you reduce the heat in the caldarium? You ask. How much? Enough to save 300 sesterces monthly. He wipes his face. The water will cool. People will notice. Will they complain? Some will. Let me worry about complaints. He shrugs. He reduces the furnace schedule. The caldarium cools by a few degrees. Some bathers mention it. Most do not. You saved the money. 6 months passed. Then a year. The bathhouse finds its rhythm. Morning bathers. Afternoon crowds. Evening regulars. You learn their patterns. You learn their secrets. A thief watches the changing room every third day. You point him out to Titus. The thief stops coming. A senator's mistress meets her other lover in the tepidarium. You said nothing. Information is currency. You store it carefully. The magistrate's assistant visits your office. Magistrate Oppius requests a meeting, he says. When? Now. You followed him to the magistrate's home. It is larger than you remembered. Gaius Oppius sits in his garden. Roses bloom around him. He does not look at them. Sit, Marcus, he says. You sit. The bathhouse is doing well, he says. Adequately. More than adequately. I've seen the revenue. The costs are high, nevertheless. You can afford to contribute more to the city's welfare. How much more? An additional 200 sesterces monthly. And I'll need a private changing room. For myself and my associates. That room represents revenue. It represents my goodwill. You calculate silently. And weekly use of the steam room. Private use. For banquets. Magistrates. These are not requests, Marcus. You look at his hands. They rested calmly on the arms of his chair. You look at his face. It is patient. It can wait. I agree, you say. He smiles. Excellent. I knew you were a reasonable man. You raise prices. Storage lockers now cost 2 additional asses. You visit Claudia in her massage corner. The rent increases to 90 sesterces, you say. That's absurd, she says. Her hand stopped working on her client's shoulder. That's the new rate. We can barely afford 70. Then work faster. Get more clients. Her brother looks up from the oil bottles. You're squeezing us. I'm charging market rates. Claudia's jaw tightens. Fine. 90. You visit Jacob at his food stall. 20. 5% revenue share now. You said. We agreed on 17. Circumstances change. What circumstances? The magistrate's circumstances. Which affects my circumstances? Which affects yours? Jacob studies you. 22. 25. He sighs. The Lord sees what you do, Marcus Valerius. I'm sure he does. You raise the price of wine. You raise the price of honey cakes. People grumbled. They still come. Where else would they go? The Trajanic bads are across the city. The Caracalla bads charge more. They have no choice. They come. You reduce the water changes. The Caldarium pool was cleaned every 5 days. Now it is cleaned every 8. The water clouds slightly. You purchased perfume oils from a Syrian merchant. Rose, myrrh, cedar. You add them to the water. The clouds hide in the scent. The profits increased. More months passed. The bathhouse breathes. People come. People go. You walk through each evening. You listen. A group of young men gathered in the tepidarium. They are loud. They laugh too freely. One of them speaks. The emperor is bleeding, the province is dry. Careful. Another says. Careful? Everyone knows it. The grain dole shrinks while his palaces grow. Still. Careful. You remember their faces. The one who spoke has a crooked nose. The cautious one has a mole on his cheek. You remember their words exactly. The next day you mentioned them to the magistrate's assistant. Casually. Over wine. Some young men at the bathhouse, you say. Speaking treasonously about the grain dole. Names? I don't know them. But I can describe them. You describe them. The assistant writes. He thanks you. He leaves. The young men stopped coming to the bathhouse. You never see them again. You do not ask what happened. You do not want to know. The bathhouse is quieter without them. Claudia stops you one afternoon near the pools. The water quality is declining, she says. Have you received complaints? I receive them daily. My client's skin is irritated. Some develop rashes. From the massage oil, perhaps. From the water, Marcus. You know it is. I'll look into it. You do not look into it. You add more perfume. The complaints continue, but they are quieter now. Easier to ignore. A merchant shows you his arm one morning. The skin is inflamed. Red patches spread from his elbow to his wrist. Your water did this, he says. How do you know? It started after I bathed here. Many things cause skin inflammation. Bad food. Insect bites. Disease. It was your water. I can offer you free admission for a month, as an apology for your misunderstanding. He stares at you. Then he takes the offer. He does not return after 3 days. A woman comes with her daughter. The girl is perhaps 8. Her legs are covered in sores. Look what your bathhouse did, the woman says. Her voice shakes. I'm very sorry, you say. I'll have the pools inspected immediately. She's in pain. She cries at night. I understand. Here, you gave her 5 sesterces. For the doctor. She takes the coins. She leaves. You do not have the pools inspected. More complaints arrive. A soldier's back. A baker's chest. A prostitute's shoulders. All red. All inflamed. The word spreads through the markets and the taverns and the street corners. Callisti water makes you rot. The Callisti pools are poisoned. Avoid the Callisti. Your skin will fall off. Attendance drops. The changing rooms are half empty. The coins in your strongbox grow more slowly. You count them each night. The numbers are wrong. They shrink. You hire a doctor. He is old. Expensive. He examines the pools carefully. He tested the water with litmus. He smells it. He tastes it. You watch him spit. The water is stagnant, he says. Bacterial growth. Fungal contamination. How often do you change it? Every 8 days. It needs to be every 3 days. Perhaps every 2. That's not economical. Neither is killing your customers. You pay him. You thank him. You change the water once. Fresh and clean. The complaints were quiet for a week. Then you return to the 8-day schedule. The complaints returned. But fewer people complain now. Fewer people came. You wake to screaming. It is still dark. The sound comes from beneath, from underground, from the furnace room. You run through the streets in your sleeping tunic. People stare. You do not care. The smoke reaches you first. Thick, black. It pours from the bathhouse entrance. Then the heat. A wave of it like opening an oven. Then the smell. Burning wood. Burning flesh. Burning hair. You run inside. Others are running out. They push past you. Their faces are black with soot. Some are burned. Red skin. Blistering. They scream as they move. You descend into the furnace room. The hypocaust has exploded. The underground heating channels have cracked open. Steaming and flames erupted through the floor tiles above. The walls are scorched. Part of the ceiling has collapsed. Bodies lie on the ground. You count them. 1, 2, 5, 8, 12. Stokers, guards, bathers who were in the wrong place. Some are burned beyond recognition. Some are crushed under fallen stones. Some are merely unconscious from the smoke. Some are already dead. Quintus is alive. His face is burned down one side. The flesh is black and red. He looks at you. The furnace, he says. His voice is hoarse. We couldn't keep up. You cut our wages last month. We worked longer shifts. We were tired. So tired. Don't talk. You say. I told you, he says. I told you the furnace needed maintenance. I'll send for doctors. You won't, he says. You'll send for the magistrate. He is right. You sent for the magistrate. Gaius Oppius arrives at midday. He does not look at the bodies. The doctors have come by then. They carried the dead out on stretchers. The burned ones scream when they are moved. Oppius looks at you instead. How did this happen? He asks. The hypocaust failed. Why did it fail? Age. Structural weakness. It was built quickly during construction. When was it last inspected? You hesitated. 8 months ago. Who inspected it? A private engineer. Show me his report. You cannot. There is no report. There was no inspection. You paid a man 5 sesterces to write a document saying the structure was sound. He wrote it. He never saw the furnace room. I'll need to find it. You say. Do that, Oppius says. He walks away. His guards followed him. The Senate sends an investigator 3 days later. His name is Lucius Flavius Gracchi. He is thin. His eyes are careful and slow. He moves through the bathhouse like a priest examining entrails for omens. He reads your ledgers. Every page. He interviews your workers. Quintus speaks to him for an hour. Claudius speaks to him for an hour. Jacob speaks to him. The other stokers spoke to him. The guards spoke to him. Even the oil scrapers spoke to him. He measures the pool water. He takes samples in small glass vials. He descends into the ruined furnace room. He is down there for a long time. When he emerges, his clothes are covered in soot. He writes. He writes for 7 days. You saw him in the magistrate's office. You saw him in the Senate Records Hall. You see him interviewing merchants in the forum. He writes and writes and writes. The notice appears on the bathhouse door at dawn. You stand before it. Your hands hang at your sides. You read. The Callistus bathhouse is hereby closed for public safety violations pending administrative review. By order of the Senate and people of Rome. You read it again. The words did not change. People gather around you. They read it too. Some nodding. Some laughing. One spits at your feet. Murderer, he says. You did not reply. You walk away. The investigator's report is released 3 days later. It is posted in the forum. Public records. Anyone can read it. Everyone does. You read it standing in the crowd. No one recognizes you at first. Then someone does. The report lists everything. Fraudulent accounting. You recorded higher maintenance costs than you actually paid. You pocketed the difference. Water contamination. The pools were cleaned half as often as required by law. Safety violations. The hypocaust was never properly inspected. The stokers worked excessive hours with inadequate pay. Equipment failure. The furnace was outdated and poorly maintained. Bribery. Your initial payment to Magistrate Gaius Oppius. This surprises you. You did not expect Graki to include this, but it is there, in writing. The magistrate's name, your name, the amount, 40,000 sesterces. Then comes the list of dead, 12 names, their ages, their families, their occupations. Quintus Porcius Cato, stoker, age 42, wife and 3 children. Marcus Horatius Brutus, guard, age 35, no family. Aulus Severus Felix, bather, age 61, grandfather of 7. The list continues. You read each name. You will remember them. You do not want to remember them. You will anyway. The crowd around you grows restless. Someone recognizes you. That's him. A woman says, that's Valerius. The crowd turns. You walk away quickly. They do not follow. Not yet. Gaius Oppius visits your home that evening. Not the bathhouse. Your home. He does not knock. He enters. His guards remain outside. He sits in your chair. You remain standing. The Senate requires accountability. He says, my name is in that report. You say, so is mine. Then we share the responsibility. He laughs. No, Marcus, we do not. My family has served Rome for 12 generations. My uncle is a senator. My cousin commands a legion. My brother-in-law oversees the grain supply. Who is your family? You said nothing. Exactly. He says, you are a contractor, a business person, a man of commerce. I am a public servant. When the people demand justice, they will demand it from you, not from me. You took the bribe. I took a gift. A donation to support public infrastructure. That is how my advocates would explain it. How will yours explain your actions? You have no advocates. You both know this. What happens now? You asked. The Senate will hold hearings. Witnesses will testify. The investigator will present his findings. Then the judgment. What judgment? That depends on you. Exile is traditional for this sort of failure. You would leave Rome, retain some of your property, live quietly elsewhere, and if I refuse exile, then bankruptcy, confiscation of assets, public humiliation, possibly imprisonment. Or you could choose the third option, which is the honorable option. You understand. He means death, suicide, the Roman way. I need time to consider. You say. You have 3 days. He stands. Use them wisely. Marcus Valerius. He leaves. You sit in your chair. It is still warming from his body. You visit the bathhouse one final time. It is night. The guards are gone. You push open the door. It is not locked. Why would it be? There is nothing left to steal. You walk through the empty changing rooms. The mosaic dolphins still leap through their white waves. The storage lockers stand open. Someone has already looted them. The floors are covered in dust. You walk past the cold pool. It is empty now. Just a dark rectangle. You walk past the tepid area. The pool is drained. You can see the tiles at the bottom. Some are cracked. You never noticed before. You descended to the caldarium. The pool here is empty too. You sit on the edge. Your feet hang over the emptiness. You remember the steam, the heat, the voices, all the secrets whispered in this room. Where did they go? Do they still float in the air? Do they settle on the tiles like dust? You descend into the furnace room. The destruction is worse than you remembered. The collapsed ceiling, the cracked hypocaust channels, the scorched walls. The furnace sits cold and dead. Its mouth is open. You walk to it. You look inside. Nothing. Just ashes. You sit on the floor. The stone is cool. You remember when it was hot. When the fire roared and the water boiled and the bathhouse breathed with life. That was not long ago. 3 years? 4? It feels like decades. You think about the choices before you. Exile, bankruptcy, death. You think about Quintus, his burned face, his hoarse voice. I told you, he said, I told you the furnace needed maintenance. You think about the 12 dead, their names, their families, their ages. You think about the 40,000 sesterces. How heavy the pouch felt in your hands. How light it felt to let go. You stand. Your legs are stiff. You climb back upstairs. You walk through the empty rooms one final time. The bathhouse echoes. Your footsteps. Your breathing. Nothing else. You stand at the entrance. The sunlight waits outside. Dawn is coming. The city is waking. The bakers are lighting their ovens. The merchants are opening their stalls. The senators are preparing their speeches. The soldiers are drilling in their barracks. The children are waking. The slaves are working. The city continues. It always did. It always will. You close the door behind you. The Callistus bathhouse stands empty. Silent. Dark. You walk away. The streets are filling with people. No one looks at you. You are just another man. Walking through Rome at dawn. One among thousands. Invisible. Ordinary. You do not look back. There is nothing behind you now. Only forward. Only the 3 choices. Only 3 days. You walk. The sun rises higher. The shadows shrink. The city grows louder. You walk through it all. 1 foot. Then another. Then another. You walk until you can no longer see the bathhouse. Until the streets change. Until the faces around you are strangers. Until you are far from everything you built. Everything you destroyed. You stop walking. You stand on a street corner. You do not know where you are. You close your eyes. You open them. You walk.